A long time ago, when people lived in a community, was kind of in an encampment, you know. Each one was an Nkwusm. Each camp had an Nkwusm. Each Nkwusm had a responsibility, the head of the family, to teaching the boys of their roles, the woman teaching the girls of their roles, what their responsibilities are, and if you traveled across to another camp, how to respect and stuff. You know, this was kind of the whole encampment that helped each other. Each Nkwusm family, they helped each other.
Nkwusm is different, you know. You come in here and I'm talking for myself, you know. I look at those kids, you know, the way they sing, if they cry, I cry. If they sing, I sing. I'm just with them all the time, you know. To me, language is number one, but you put that language in the middle, then it spreads out, you know, everywhere.
One of the best things that ever happened to our reservation is to realize that our language needs to go on. We have had so much trouble in the past, where a lot of our people lost their language because of schools, government schools, Catholic parishes, their schools, that kind of stripped them of the language. A lot of them were literally whipped because they spoke the language in these schools. And so they chose not to speak because they didn't want to be whipped. And when they got out of these schools, they just said, well, what's the use going back to the language?
I've taught in public schools, and I saw so many Indian kids they don't know who they are. You know, they don't know what it means to be Salish or Kootenai or Pondray or any, you know, the other tribes that are around here. They don't know who they are. They don't know their history. And they would come to me, you know, during times when, you know, recess or whatever, and they would just ask. You know, these are kids in public schools. They wanted to know. That's what our kids need. That's what our kids want. They want to know who they are. They need their language, they need their culture, and that's where I was as a kid. That was one thing that hurt me so much as a kid. The kids that are here figuring out who they are, where they've come from, where their families have come from, why things are the way they are now. They're learning their language, they're learning their culture, and through this, they're proud of themselves. They're proud of who they are and where they come from. You know, they're able to survive in two worlds, and they'll go into college and they'll be our leaders. They'll be our doctors and our teachers and our lawyers.
I want to work here at Nkwusm.
Do you want to be a teacher here?
I will most likely go to college and get my teacher's degree, and then I want to come back to teach here. Or I want to get on tribal council.
Once people know who they are and where they come from and speak their language, because I think only through the language can we feel what this earth is giving us. Our people, I can't speak for any other tribes or any other people, but when we're here on our land speaking our language, we hear it spoken back to us.
The wisdom in the language, the strength in the language, the power that's in that language causes us to want to go on and on and on, because we have a common knowledge of what's out there in the world, who we are, and how we interact with it.
I want to learn the language so our culture doesn't go away, in the future so future generations can learn. So, because the language is a wonderful thing and there's a lot of knowledge in the language.
In '91, I had heard that there was 200 speakers of Salish left at that time. I just couldn't believe that number. I always thought there was thousands. You know, I thought everybody spoke it, and I just wasn't a part of that world. Right now, we have exactly 55 fluent speakers that we have identified, and that number gets smaller and smaller every year. Our dream is that these kids will come out of the school fluent speakers of Salish, fluent speakers of English, both literacy and orally, and they will have solid academics as far as math and science and social studies is concerned. And our baseline is what the public school would be, and we want to go above and beyond that so that our students can excel in whatever they choose to do as adults. And they'll be productive, they'll be positive role models for our community.
The time has to be now. That's the bottom line for the school. The time is right now. Otherwise, we won't get a second chance. We won't get a second chance of 5 years or 10 years because it'll already be gone.
And Nkwusm's good. That's what, for future generations, it'll be here. Well, let's hope it'll be here.
So this is what the school is in Nkwusm, one fire, one campfire. And, and it is a family. And this little family needs help,